Hey everyone, welcome to another webinar presented by Connect Care 3. Today's webinar is with the help of a health coach. And what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of talk about what health coaching is, and we're going to get different perspectives from each of our health coaches here at Connect Care 3. So what is health coaching? If you Google it, you get a very generic, general definition, which we have here. A health and wellness coach works one-on-one with individuals who want to improve their health and well-being using concepts drawn from psychology, behavior change, and life coaching fields. A wellness coach helps their client overcome obstacles to maintain healthy habits for life. Not a bad definition, a little generic. We do things a little different here. Each one of our coaches here have a very different perspective on what health coaching is to us, so we kind of got together and kind of came up with our own definition because our niche is a little bit more specific. It's not as general as it is with other health coaches. So we still work in a collaborative effort to make self-motivated, impactful changes that promote health and well-being. We assist you in identifying and achieving behavior changes that lead to desired health outcomes while providing guidance, support, and accountability. When you think Connect Care 3, we want you to think the prevention and management of chronic diseases, because that's our niche here. That's what we really strive to work with, is helping individuals that have chronic disease and helping individuals prevent developing those chronic diseases. When we're talking about those chronic diseases, we're talking about obesity, diabetes, high triglycerides, and high cholesterol, and also high blood pressure. And I know you're thinking, well, I'm on medications that are help managing that. Yes, you're managing, but you have to remember, those medications, they're not helping with the problem, they're helping with the symptoms that you have. They will progressively still continue to get worse if you don't do anything lifestyle-wise to help change that. What we try to do here as health coaches, we try to help you develop your own ways to, get rid of that burden of these chronic diseases. With that said, I'm going to hand it over to our first health coach, Jonathon Lauten.
Thanks, Phil. Before I went to college, I was a national and international competitor in ice dancing, and my sister and I were 2-time regional champions and competed at nationals 5 times, finishing in the top 8 3 of those times, and we earned the bronze medal in 2000. At our final national and international competitions, we finished 12th at both, and we felt great with our performances. Now, sometimes it's not necessarily about the results. It is about how you feel. So we felt great with our performances, and that's what mattered the most. I believe that everyone chooses their career for one main reason, and that is passion. I am passionate about helping others achieve their health and wellness goals, no matter how big or how small. I got my bachelor's degree in exercise science from Slippery Rock University. I'm a certified exercise physiologist and group exercise instructor through the American College of Sports Medicine, and have my level 2 credential through Exercises Medicine. Prior to joining the Connect Care 3 team in April of 2022, I worked for 5 years in corporate wellness. Then I took a little turn and I worked at a retirement community for 4 years doing personal training and group exercise classes for both the employees and the residents. In addition, I was doing personal training and a professional skating instructor. So fun fact, the youngest skater that I coached was just 16 months old. And let me ask my fellow health coaches here, how old do you think the oldest skater was that I coached?
112.
Okay, maybe not quite that old, but they were 97 years old. So let that sink in. If you are someone thinking that you're too old to start something new, I'm not saying necessarily to start skating, but don't be afraid to go after your goals. Stretch yourself and get out of your comfort zone. It's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it. One of my favorite quotes is by Jim Rohn. If it is important, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. So I'm going to start talking about exercise, and I like to focus on exercise because you can control a lot of what you do by using the right mindset and motivation. So currently the recommendations are 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise per week. Through the Exercises medicine, they have a movement called sit less, move more. And you could even split the times up throughout the day. So maybe you're at work and go for a walk on your lunch, or, park further away from the store. I also encourage people to use all types of exercise because their cardio, resistance training, flexibility, and balance. Don't neglect any because they are all beneficial. Make sure you mix it up. There is one type that is most beneficial, but I will not steal Phil's thunder on this one. The next thing is something is better than nothing. Even if you're just doing something each and every day to get better, you're going to make some improvements. We all like to put barriers up. This is the next thing. We all like to put barriers up, and I like to tell people to jump over those barriers or figure out ways to overcome them. Exercise is important for everybody, not just athletes. Nowadays, kids want to stay inside, play video games, instead of getting outside, playing with their friends, climbing trees, and riding their bikes. If you are a parent, I encourage you to be a role model and encourage your child to do something with you to be active. At any point in our lives, and especially as we age, we can lose muscle if we don't use the muscles that we have. This can lead to potential falls, injuries, or dependent care from someone else later on in life. Specificity and progression are two key pieces to any exercise program, and that's something that I like to focus on whenever I'm working with my clients. Nutrition is also an important part of any health and wellness journey because our bodies need certain nutrients to function properly. We also need to make sure that we're getting enough nutrients and calories. We have probably heard the saying, you are what you eat, right? Well, if you treat your body well, it will treat you well. Sleep can affect our moods and the body's ability to heal properly. If we don't get the recommended amount of sleep, we can become irritated and even run down to the point that we get sick. Some of the sleep tips that I have are go to bed at the same time, put your phone down and turn off the TV at least 1 hour prior to the time that you would like to be asleep, and journal the progress that you made that day to get you closer to your goals. Then turn out the lights and go to sleep. Make sure you're staying consistent. When it comes to stress, we do have different stressors and ways to manage stress. So some ways to manage stress can be through exercise or even social groups. Make sure you have fun, get outside, do random acts of kindness, and reward yourself. Those are just a few of my examples. Do what is best for you and what works for you. For tobacco cessation, I encourage my clients to do a reduce to quit versus quitting cold turkey because in most cases, it is more sustainable. Now, it can be a process and takes time. Be patient. Again, remember, with the right motivation and the right mindset, anything is possible. I am so grateful to have impacted so many lives, and I hope that yours is the next one that I get to impact in a positive way. We know that you are all winners looking for healthy lifestyle changes, and I'm going to pass this off to the next health coach, Taylor McCormick.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor McCormick. I joined Connect Care 3 in April of 2022, and prior to joining Connect Care 3, my career was mainly based around the sport of field hockey, so my background is a little unique in that way. I attended James Madison University where I played Division I field hockey and majored in health sciences. After graduating, I was fortunate enough to be selected to play on the USA Women's National Team. I trained and competed internationally for close to a total of 6 years. While I was training, I earned my master's in exercise science with a concentration in nutrition and wellness. Throughout my hockey career, I was always involved in coaching various age groups ranging from youth to collegiate athletes. I've always enjoyed sharing my experience and knowledge of the sport with others and helping athletes pursue their goals. I have found health coaching to be a great blend of my coaching experience and education in health and wellness. As for my coaching philosophy, I take an individualized approach and enjoy learning about my clients' previous experiences in health and wellness and collaborating on the next best steps. Everyone is different and has had unique experiences that have shaped their health and wellness journey. My goal is to help clients establish daily habits and routines that support their ultimate health and wellness goals. 3 of the main areas that I typically focus on are nutrition, exercise, and sleep. Once you start exploring each area, you'll soon realize that they're truly related and interconnected in some realm. When clients are looking to start exercising or increasing their activity levels, I always like to distinguish between the difference of exercise and physical activity. Exercise is something that is scheduled and purposeful, meaning you have to set aside time for it in your daily routine. For some, this could look like going to a gym, going to an exercise class, or walking for health and wellness goals. Physical activity, on the other hand, is the accumulation of your activity throughout the day. This could be chores around the house, walking to and from your car, or even gardening. I always like to point out an added bonus to exercise, whether that's your gym routine, going for a run, or walking outside in nature, but this can truly serve as a stress reliever. When working with my clients, I enjoy sharing general nutrition education and helping them find ways to create eating habits that work for their daily routine. Again, this isn't necessarily a one-size-fits-all approach. I like to take a balanced approach to nutrition while focusing on nutrient-dense options and working to create lifelong eating patterns. It's not necessarily reasonable to completely eliminate food groups or have strict rules around food. It's about finding that balance and enjoying the foods you like in moderation. And lastly, there's sleep. So this area is very important. Like I mentioned before, areas of wellness are all interconnected and affect other areas. So if you're looking to start a new gym routine, how can you expect yourself to get up before work and go to the gym with just 4 hours of sleep? If that sounds unreasonable, you're in luck. I agree with you. Sleep is so important in our overall well-being, outlook, and recovery. It can even impact our food choices. Day-to-day life is very busy, going from one thing to the next, and routines are so important in establishing structure, and this is an approach I like to take with all of my clients. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to our next health coach, Suzy.
Thank you, Taylor. Hello, everyone. My name is Suzy Hodge, and I'm an ACE certified health coach, and I've been with Connect Care 3 coming up on 2 years now. Prior to that, I started my career in the field of sports medicine, where I worked at mainly the high school level, helping athletes prevent and recover from injuries. And that was the first half of my career, and the second half of my journey was in health coaching in the workplace, where I went into the workplace and worked with the employees, working on preventing injuries and also helping them to lead healthier lives. My coach approach as a health coach is I create a positive, non-judgmental coaching space where I partner with clients to help them discover their own unique path to health and well-being. My coach approach to exercise is to empower clients to incorporate more movement into their day, from movement minutes to more structured exercise. The benefits of physical activity on physical and mental health are so powerful that there's an initiative called Exercise is Medicine. One area that I feel that is often overlooked is resistance training, especially among women. So I like to help women understand how resistance training can help them reach any of their goals and how to incorporate it into their lifestyle. I encourage people to aim for at least 30 minutes of movement a day. So start where you are and do what you can. When it comes to nutrition, my coach approach is to collaborate with clients to develop a plan that works for them. This includes developing the skills to sustain healthier eating habits, including all food groups and your favorites. I incorporate portion control, smart swaps, and mindfulness into my coaching sessions. When it comes to stress management, I feel that unmanaged stress can derail efforts to develop and maintain healthy habits by leading to stress eating and poor food choices, sleep disruptions, and poor mental health. I work with clients to discover and develop the skills to better lower their stress response and to elicit their relaxation response. I'm also an American Lung Association Freedom from Smoking facilitator. So I work with clients to help them find their own path to quitting tobacco and staying quit. This includes helping clients to overcome barriers to quitting and also working on stress management, because it is probably the leading cause of why tobacco users return back to using tobacco. And those who seek out additional support are more successful in their journey to being tobacco-free. And now I'm going to turn it over to our final coach, Phil.
Thanks, Q. Now, here at Connect Care 3, we like to save the best for last. So I'll start talking about my second favorite subject after physiology, me. I have a master's degree in exercise physiology from the East Stroudsburg University, same place where I got my bachelor's. I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist. I lectured for over 6 years in post-secondary education, worked a few years as an exercise physiologist in bariatrics, in personal training over 18 years, and I've been with Connect Care 3 now for over 3 years. Now, I know you're all wondering, we cannot wait to hear Philosophies on the following topics. So we'll end the anticipation right now, and we'll get right down to it. So being an exercise physiologist, I believe exercise is the main backbone of anything when it comes to health. Mainly because what a lot of people don't understand is exercise will dictate what happens to your calories. Especially when it comes to fat loss. And I say specifically fat loss because we're not interested in weight loss. You don't want to just be a smaller version of yourself at the same body fat percentage. We want fat loss. Okay. And I wish it was diet and cardio like we've been all brought up to think. Okay, it's not. All right, resistance training is the main mode of exercise which will lead to the most benefit in just about everything in health, but also in chronic diseases. The more I look into it, muscle tissue is the biggest contributor to helping with a lot of these chronic diseases. I'm a big advocate of resistance training. So resistance training is the big key to health and longevity. Okay. The reason why I say that and the reason why I'll keep repeating it is because I also have a webinar on that, which will be highly beneficial for you to hear, because I'm sure you're waiting to hear more from me. Nutritionally speaking, probably not going to be a big fan of what I have to say about that either, is not everything you eat has to be the most delicious thing you ever had. It's okay to have a bland diet for a while. I'm a believer that highly palatable foods makes you crave more highly palatable foods. Okay. So eating very simple foods, rice, chicken, broccoli, I know it doesn't sound very appetizing, but I've had more success with clients eating more bland foods like that than any other way. I know you're thinking, oh, well, I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder or a physique competitor. Well, you kind of are. Because essentially what you're trying to do is lose as much body fat as possible while keeping as much muscle as possible, because that's the key of health and longevity. How many times did I say that now? 2, 3 times? That's a key. Bold it, star it, underline it. It's important. Okay. So what you're trying to do is you kind of need to live that lifestyle a little bit. Maybe not to the same magnitude, but they all have some common principles. They have a resistance training backbone, maybe a little bit of cardio, but a very kind of more structured diet. I haven't had a lot of clients have a lot of success with the whole moderation thing, having some quote-unquote junkier foods, but in moderation. Usually when you have those foods, it usually just falls into a pitfall of wanting more of those foods. You start craving them more. The longer you go without having some of those foods, the less you start to crave them. My philosophy on sleep is that it's great. I look forward to getting some someday. As John and Taylor said, exercise is a great way for not only getting better sleep, but also it's a great stress outlet. Trust me, I do a ton of exercise, and everybody will tell you here that I have almost no stress at all.
He just causes us stress.
Yes. There's a little bit of sarcasm in that. Haha, we like to have fun here at Connect Care 3. Hydration. Give you a few tips on how to stay hydrated, but a lot of it does come down to just being accountable to yourself. Okay, you're an adult. Nobody tells you to pay your bills. Nobody tells you to go to work. Drink the water. When it comes to tobacco cessation, you might find it's hard to believe. I kind of have a no-nonsense approach to that as well. I won't sit here and tell you all the dangers of tobacco. I'm pretty sure you already know that. But what we do is we find out how many cigarettes you're smoking right now. For example, let's say you're smoking 100 cigarettes per week. We'll try to cut it down to 95. And we'll keep it there until your cravings are around a 2 or 3 out of 10 for several weeks. And then we'll try to drop it down again until the cravings come down again. Slowly but surely, kind of go that route. So now we'll talk a little bit more about the chronic disease management prevention stuff that we do here. Because again, when you think Connect Care 3, this is what I want you to think of in terms of our health coaches. Okay. Now we have 2 columns there. We have our management program and our prevention program. It says the word eligible there. Everyone's eligible. You'll just fit in one of 2 categories. If you've already been diagnosed with a chronic disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, then you'll just be in the management side of things. Okay. There's really no difference between the 2. It's just either you've been diagnosed or you haven't. On the preventable side, it says there pre-diabetes, pre-hypertension. You do not have to be diagnosed with one of those. If you are 1 day older than you were the day before, which spoiler alert, we all are, you have a higher chance of developing some of those. And we really want to start working more on the prevention side of things, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's much easier to prevent a lot of these chronic diseases than it is to essentially fix them or manage them. So we really like to have individuals start taking a proactive approach to it beforehand. So here we'll talk about a couple of our other services and our lines of contact. You'll first reach one of our patient advocates, and they kind of help you figure out what you're looking for, what would be best for you, and what will fit into one of these other 4 categories. First one being nurse navigation. What a nurse navigation does is if you have a diagnosis, they'll help you either find a second opinion on it. They'll help educate you on that diagnosis, and they can also help you develop questions for your doctor's appointments. They really help with the education part of it, so you really understand what's going on. Usually, when you're diagnosed with something or anything, there's usually a lot of fear around that because we fear the unknown. We think the worst of everything. They kind of help navigate through that. We have our chronic disease management prevention program. We have nutrition education. So we have registered dietitians here on staff that kind of help educate you on good nutritional choices, especially when it comes to your chronic disease. Now you have to remember, they aren't here to just write up diet plans for weight loss. That is not what they do. Okay, because if you're not well educated on the stuff first, chances of you just sticking to someone saying eat this at this time, not going to happen. But they're here as a resource for us. Okay, and we also have our tobacco cessation program, which I think we've kind of highlighted throughout as well. So if you're looking to sign up, here's our best avenues of contact. You can call us here and put you right through to a patient advocate. You can also email us here or go on our website, which is probably the easiest way to go about things. Just go right on the website, and there's an easy link to click, sign up fairly painlessly. Also on that website, we have our client testimonials and our other webinars. So thanks for stopping in.